we were doing around 8K a month. We were doing our meta ads in-house, just trying to learn everything through YouTube. When you got involved, we got surgical from top of the funnel to bottom of the funnel. And then now we're doing consistently over 215,000 a month now, and we're growing month over month.
What's up, everybody? It's been a long time coming. Wanted to introduce you guys to Lucas. If you can tell everyone who you are, what your brand is, and what you guys sell.
I'm Lucas. I'm the co-founder of Vita Prima. We're a holistic hair and skincare company. We started around 2 years ago now. We were testing the product, a year and a half prior to that. And my business partner and childhood best friend, Sammy, he had alopecia universalis. I used to have cystic acne all over my face. And then, we were able to heal ourselves naturally. And that inspired us to, one story being hair, the other being skin. We decided to go full throttle with it and put all our eggs into that basket. So it ended up being a lot of trial and error and just, kind of being in the right place at the right time, but also being relentless when it came to sourcing and, our story and, trying to give everybody those salon quality results without all the toxins and also just most importantly, being healthy. So that was ended up being a really great thing for us.
Yeah, I think you hit it out of the park in all those categories. Even your guys' packaging is everything's just luxury. I feel like you guys have brought a luxury touch to the holistic health space, which I think was missing. And obviously you guys' products are amazing as well. So yeah, we're so glad that you joined Meta Ads at Scale, and obviously happy with your progress as you've had an insane growth story. So if you could share with everybody, where were you guys when you joined Meta Ads at Scale, revenue-wise as a brand, and then where were you guys at the end of the program? I think the 6 months, and then where are you guys now as you've kind of stayed inside in the inner circle membership?
So I remember reaching out to you right before we actually decided to go forth and go full on with Meta Ads at Scale. But you gave us a lot of insight on what we could possibly achieve. I saw the other testimonials, definitely got me excited, but I was also always skeptical. How all these coaching for Meta, a lot of them are, I don't know, I've never seen much promise from all of them that I have tried, but I was like, okay, these are good testimonials, these are real business owners like myself, let me try it. And at that time we were doing around 8K a month, and we were doing our meta ads in-house, just trying to learn everything through YouTube, ChatGPT, you name it. And we had great creatives, we just couldn't figure out the ecosystem of Meta and how to direct those low-hanging fruit, those good creatives to these low-hanging fruits that we wanted to direct them to. And Meta is just a beast. When you look at it, when you're first looking at it, it really is just scary. But I was glad we learned the basics of it on our own just a little bit, because then when you got involved, we got surgical from top of the funnel to bottom of the funnel. And then now we're doing consistently over 215,000 a month now, and we're growing month over month. It's becoming an inventory problem where it's hard to predict inventory sometimes because it's become a money printer for us. So
you heard it, folks. They've created a machine, a money printer. And I mean, it could really, jokes aside, that is the goal of Meta Ads at Scale, is we take brands that have a good product. They just need a system that they can follow inside their ad account. And so then they can start, again, creating that machine. And that's what Lucas and the team have created. They have a machine now where they put $1 in, they're going to get $4 or $5 back. And so is that kind of, I guess, describing strategy wise, where were you guys before? And then kind of now, where are you guys now with your guys' strategy and how you guys approach Meta Ads?
Yeah, before the program, we were just throwing anything up there that we could just see if it works. Hey, and we had really, low expectations. Hey, maybe this worked. And sometimes it did, but there was no consistency. If we were spending, $25, $50 a day, we were able to get some sort of return, and we were pretty resourceful, but there's no structure. That's something you can't, the problem is we reached that 7K ceiling and we weren't willing to accept that ceiling. And that's where we got involved with you, and we became kind of masters in that domain, just like you taught us to. And one thing I loved about the strategy that you implemented was that you created a very holistic approach for us. So first things first, you figured out our brand, and that no one is going to sell our brand better than us. And you took time to really understand our brand. And then from there, we created great landing pages. You figured out the framework to create a high converting landing page. Then we started getting into understanding the structure of these ads, so that Meta has a good ecosystem, because if you can have great ads, but if it's going to the wrong people, it's a waste of money. And that wasn't our problem, wasn't our creative output, was that we didn't know how to target the right people. We didn't know how to create these campaigns so they would reach our lowest hanging fruit. So I'm really happy that we were able to figure that out from bottom of the top of the funnel. So like our conversion went up, higher sessions, obviously. You taught us how to scale appropriately without disrupting the algorithm. But we knew our ICP, but you taught us how to find our ICP. And that was really cool, relying on all kinds of methods. And I love that you're not married to one thing. You're willing to try everything, and you help kind of hold our hand in the beginning. But once we get it, you let us roam free. And if God forbid anything does happen, like any fires that we need to put out, as you remember, we had a fire that we need to put out in the beginning. You guys immediately helped us with that. And that's where it was extraordinarily helpful, because now we know how to put out that fire ourselves. So I think one of the best things about Meta Ads at Scale is not only that your guys are, literally teaching us bottom of top of the funnel how to do these things, but you're also allowing us to do it in a holistic manner, not just focusing on one thing. Because the reality is, in order for us to, make more conversions, make more sales, we gotta hit everything in order to get those results.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's an under talked about part of Meta Ads at Scale. Is like, we don't just help you with your Meta Ads. We help you with your email, your SMS, your website, your PDPs, and not to mention, we even help you get Google Ads set up. Like, so once brands scale, I mean, they start at 7K. Now they're doing 200K a month. A much different brand now. Like, they need Google Ads up, right? So we don't just help you with Meta Ads. Once you get to the stage where it makes sense for you to get your Google Ads up, we will help you get your Google Ads set up. Even TikTok ads will help you get set up. That's all. Again, we're committed to helping you guys brand scale in every way possible to be as profitable as possible. And we don't really act like it's such a different relationship than like an agency relationship. So like, how would you describe like our relationship versus like an agency might be? Because I think it's different. Like, we're all on the same team. I feel like it's such a better relationship.
Yeah, I would put this shortly. I've never done an agency route, but I've been pitched by hundreds of them, and it's all the same pitch. Like, where are the guys that are get you those results? Do you have enough inventory for this? That was like the first question they would always ask. But what I love about this is that we are going to sell like I mentioned, the entrepreneur, the founders, the people like inside are going to sell their product better than anybody else can. However, if we don't have the consultants to like help us do that, and if those consultants actually care to get us to those places, we can move mountains. And that's one of the biggest differences, that an agency kind of just use the same framework that works at the bare minimum for everybody else, but they don't talk about how much they're going to be paying per month, plus the ad spend, and all these expenses just add up, from your OPEX to everything. And it will all add up. And then you just get a much bigger bang for your buck when you work with consultants that help you hold your hand through that process, because it is complicated stuff. But once it's broken down, it gets simplified. Like, you guys make it simple. So like you mentioned, you helping us with Klaviyo, figuring out Google, figuring out Meta, and then how to work Meta. Meta's our base, and everything else was extremely supplemental, but they're important to the whole, ecosystem. Like, they all have to be doing their job in order for us to be, achieving these results. And that's what you guys understood, is like keeping everything solid on all fronts in order to achieve those results. And that was one of the biggest differences for us, is that it was a very tailored approach. Every brand is different, has different needs, has different customers and different AOVs, and all that stuff it like affects everything. So I'm glad that you took the time to like actually understand a brand and recognize, okay, these guys are different. And because an agency just wants to get the client, to my understanding, and obviously they want a great testimonial, they're incentivized to help, but I haven't noticed anybody that took the time to truly understand our brand, because that right there, understanding brand, is half the battle. Once you do that, then the X's and O's come in.
Exactly. And I think, you guys came in with an incredible brand too. So hats off to you guys. And also hats off to you guys on execution. Like, not every brand goes from 7K to 200K a month. Yes, if you look at the 15 other case studies, we have brands that have crazy growth, but it requires great execution from the founders. And so you guys are one of the brands that has executed so fast. And so on that note, what would you describe kind of in the beginning, kind of the time commitment for brands they're thinking about joining? Like how much time do you think it took in the beginning versus how much time now that you guys are up to speed, you have everything built, what's kind of the time per week?
In the beginning, it's not incredulous. Like I would say like every week we would spend 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, which is it is a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't, because that's just onboarding. That's getting started. Like we have to put in that work if we want to get in those results. Like if it wasn't we that's why it's so important. You could teach us all the Easter eggs you want, but if we don't do the work, we're not going to get the results we wanted. So we kind of went a little harder than the average person was, but if they spent on average 2 hours a day, to me personally, I think that can move mountains. But it all depends on the brand. But the point is, you guys, really helped us in the beginning to not do all the work. You hold our hand through this process. Like, yes, it's work, but you're holding our hand through the process and we're learning. So we can do the job ourselves.
Exactly. And I think that's the best thing too, is you leave with a full skill set. You guys know how to launch and scale a brand from scratch now. You guys know all the skills, and no one can take that away from you, which I think is awesome. So based on your results, where you guys are at now, you're at 215K a month. Like, where do you guys see yourself in 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, we still got a few days left, and I think we're gonna hit 250 by the end of the month, hopefully. Like it's been going crazy. It's been going. Hopefully, we'll fingers crossed. Hopefully it all goes well in the next couple of days. But by the end of the year, we're definitely gonna be hitting over $1 million a month.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that'll be achievable. It's going to be achieved. And you guys have one of those special brands. And the first half of the year is typically harder. Like Q3, Q4 is like when e-com really goes crazy. So yeah, I'm so excited for you guys, your guys' journey for the rest of the year and beyond. So if someone was on the fence about joining Meta Ads at Scale, what would you tell them?
I would tell them they have every right to be on the fence, and that's the smart way to be, because a lot of, like, as I mentioned, a lot of these agencies, they are just looking to close the sale and they're master salesmen. I'm sure there's great ones. And that's why I was hesitant, try to learn a little bit on your own, just so you can understand that this guy, I'm referring to you, is not trying to screw you guys. Like, he is one of the few people that got us to where we are. And the way to do that is, by actually teaching us and getting the time to like take a tailored approach to our brand and doing it holistically. Like, that's the bottom line. You kind of like the body, you take care of all fronts of your body, you're going to be okay. And then that's what it is. You got to just take care of all of it. And that's the approach that he makes. And he's a really cool guy too. I would say that you really cared about our brand. Like, you actually cared about our success. You genuinely are one of the few guys that genuinely loves meta ads. Like, you love this stuff, and you made me love meta ads. Like, I did not, this stuff really intimidated me, man, when I was first looking at it. But now I look forward to getting into meta. I look forward to seeing our awesome results and how we're going to scale. And if they're on the fence about it, I would say that just try it out. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, if we tried out so many things, a lot of things didn't work. But what can you imagine if I didn't try this out? We owe a lot of our marketing success. Obviously, we put, our sweat into it, of course, but without your knowledge, we wouldn't have been able to reach that point that we're at right now. You were the one that helped us break that ceiling, because we came up with a structure. We have an actual structure and, KPIs in order to get to that point. So
yeah, you guys have a machine. Like, I always say, like, if you can build the machine, the customers will come. And now you guys have a machine where essentially you guys just have to make new creative, drop it into the ad account, get the winning ad, then you distribute the winning ad across the account, and then it's kind of like clockwork from there. And I was so proud of you, Lucas, and the team. I mean, you guys have done such amazing things in this short amount of time we've known each other, and I know you guys are going to be one of the biggest holistic health brands in America, maybe even worldwide. So super excited for you guys' future.
I have one. Thank you so much, man. I got one more thing I want to mention too, is you guys have a great team as well. Like, we work so well. Like, you got Matt helps take care of everybody. Steve's amazing. You guys all have a certain personality that is all different, but works so well together. And that's another thing. It's not just you. You got a team helping you. And that was a big thing for us. Just another thing.
Yeah. And to put the cherry on top, yeah, we actually care. Like, as weird as it sounds, like, the coaching space, mentorship space just gets such a bad rep, but like, I own my own brand. I run an agency. I started this coaching program because on Twitter, everyone was hitting me up for questions, and they were newer brands and they were just too small for my agency. So I started this out of a need it's a passion of mine. And so these stories are why I literally created this program. So I'm so, like I said, so proud of you, so proud of your team. And yeah, you guys are going to be one of those massive brands in the future that we're going to look back on laughing at the early days and how far we've come. So it's going to be amazing. So thanks so much, Lucas, for hopping on. This is going to help so many people. So really, really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure, man. Thank you.